Good morning. Hi, how are you? I'm doing my morning routine. In the morning, I drink moringa. It's this green stuff. Doesn't taste very good, but I drink it in a tea. It's supposed to be full of vitamins and antioxidants. Good for your body. I drink it because it does help with my complexion and it helps with my blood pressure, which I don't have high blood pressure, but it keeps it at a normal rate, and it's good for diabetes. I contracted diabetes after I had my head-on collision and got myasthenia. With myasthenia, I had to take a high dose of steroids, prednisone, and prednisone throwed me into diabetes after taking them for like 2 years or more. And then I also gained a lot of weight because I didn't used to be this heavy. But I'm not going to talk about the drugs. I take all the regular drugs, which is Imaran and Mastodon, and I take steroids. So, but today I wanted to talk about moringa, and I want to also talk about my myasthenia, which I do drink moringa in the morning. I'm not trying to sell moringa. I'm just saying I think it's a very good tea to have for all different kinds of ailments in your body. There's some tutorials about it on YouTube. I just recently started drinking about 3 months. But my myasthenia, I'm going to do a video of my home where I live, and that's helped me to cope with my myasthenia better. Because before I moved into this apartment, which is all handicapped, I lived in another apartment when I first contracted. I don't say contracted because it's nothing I caught. When I first was diagnosed with myasthenia, I lived in an apartment that was not equipped at all for me to be there because it had steps that I had to go up and down. And when I first got myasthenia, I could not go up and down steps because my muscles in my legs were real weak, and my muscles in my arms were real weak, and I could not walk. I still don't walk as good as I would like to, but I do use a roll along to walk with, and I have used a cane. I'm in my wheelchair a lot in my home because my home is very spacey, and I can roll around in my wheelchair. But when I first, okay, keep saying contract, when I first was diagnosed with myasthenia, because myasthenia is not a sickness I'm going to get well from. It is I'm going to have it for the rest of my life. It's a disease. It's something I was born with, and it manifested itself at the age of 55, which a lot of young people have myasthenia also. It is hard to cope with when you first are diagnosed because it's like an immediate change you have to make in your life. It's overwhelming. And I think the reason I could deal with it is because at the time that I was diagnosed, I was working with the disabled. I've always worked with the disabled. That was the field that I chose. And I love to work with disabled people. I work with mentally and physically disabled. So it was a little easier for me to accept my condition and to just become like accustomed to doing what I know I needed to do. I went through a period of like, oh my goodness, if I'd known I would have done something different, but we don't know, we can't do so. You don't no need to cry over spilt milk, as they say. Just have to go forward. With myasthenia, when I first got myasthenia, I I couldn't even pick up my pills to put them in my mouth. I couldn't feed myself. I was I was actually not able to use the restroom by myself. I had someone to come and help me. I had family members, but I don't think my family understood exactly what was going on with me because nobody had ever heard of myasthenia in my family. And I looked the same, and there was nothing. I didn't have to be in the hospital for it. I didn't have to be in a facility for it. So they just didn't understand. They just thought I would just snap out of it and come back to myself. So they were not very understanding. I didn't have a great support system. I have one terrific angel that came and supported me, and I will always be thankful for her. She was someone that I don't think knew a lot about the disease, but she just cared enough about me to try to find out about the disease. And that's what's important when you contract myasthenia, is that you have someone that's really concerned enough to want to find out exactly what myasthenia gravis is. It is because a lot of people don't know, but it's an onset that comes. It came on me very quickly. I didn't have a lot of symptoms or and I really don't know what the symptoms would be, but my eyes was probably the first time where I really noticed it when my eyes became real droopy and weak. And I wear sunglasses a lot now because they're very sensitive to light. When you have myasthenia, your eyes are very sensitive to light. You and heat, light and heat. You just cannot deal with a lot of heat. You need to have comfort. Excuse me, nose itch. You have to be very comfortable at all times, don't you, will become very weak feeling. And I went through a period of adjustment of 6 years before I finally figured out, because when you have myasthenia, you're going to have to develop a system that works best for you. The doctors can tell you that you need to take this pill and do that. They can diagnose you, but you yourself will have to know how you're going to handle your myasthenia, and it will take a lot of trial and error. Trial and error. You will change your medications, you will change your habits, you will change your eating habits. Right now, I'm going through a bad eating period because it was the holidays, 4th of July, and I had people in, and I ate things that I normally don't eat, and I'm going to stop doing that tomorrow. I get assistance with my eating, with my meals also, because I have a Meals on Wheels in my neighborhood that brings me lunch, and that's great. And when I eat correctly, I notice when I eat small amounts of food during out the day, my myasthenia seems to be more functionable. But I am going to take you on a tour of my apartment, the next video that I do, to show you that how my living is have adjusted my apartments for my living for my myasthenia. And living here in these apartments, they're all handicapped. Well, mine's a handicap equipped. And that means I can still cook a little something if I need to on my stove. I use my microwave. I can use my washer and dryer. I can stay independent, which is something that I hope to do for a very long time. I didn't have when I first got sick with myasthenia. I didn't have a lot of pain. That's the one thing I kept saying to the doctor. This disease doesn't come with a lot of pain. But then I realized I was on a high dose of steroids, which probably kind of dimmed the pain down, and I didn't feel it. But I still don't have a lot of pain with myasthenia. Occasionally I have the arm pain, and I don't know if that's something maybe mixed in with the myasthenia. But when you have myasthenia, your system is really, really, really wide open to anything else. My nose scratching, excuse me. It's really wide open to anything. You have to really be careful about being around sick people that are sick, and around contagious diseases, and just you have to really kind of just really stay away from stuff that's contagious, and take care of yourself and get enough rest, which I do because but I sleep really well at night. That's good, very good. I don't um, I don't get up early because I no longer work, of course, because I am on disability. I'm disabled because I cannot stand for more than probably 5 to 10 seconds at a time before I need to sit down. And that's not only totally about the myasthenia. There's another element going on there. But I don't work because I would love to work. I miss working because I work with the disabled for years. For 28 years, I worked with the disabled, and I love working with my clients. I worked with handicapped young men that were autistic. I worked with mentally ill clients. I worked with clients that have cerebral palsy, Down syndrome. I think if I had not worked in the community as working with disabled people, that I would not have been able to accept or to deal with my disability as good as I do, and which I think I do good. I mean, I've done a lot of things in my life that I probably would. The things that I don't think I've missed anything, because the situation where I came from and the life that I was born into, I would have probably done the same amount of things whether I had myasthenia or not. But I love my life. I've won some awards for my programs that I've done. And I feel very proud of myself. And hey, life isn't over. I've still got some life to live. And I don't consider having myasthenia a death sentence by any means, because it's not. It's just I consider it to be an adjustment that I'm going to have to make on my life, and I'm going to have to readjust myself. And I don't feel like I'm giving up anything because I've had a lot of things. But that's enough about me. I'm going to talk more about myasthenia. I'm going to take you on a tour of my apartment, and I'm going to go finish drinking my green stuff, which I hate in the morning, that I drink in the mornings. And I'm going to go outside a bit because my porch is right out front. And I go out in the morning when it's cool because the sun's on the back side of the house in the mornings and on the front side in the afternoons. So I like to go out and just, be out there and relax. Because my doctor had told me when I got myasthenia that the reason I got myasthenia was because of stress, which is not true. I don't think it was something I was born with. But he said the stress, enhanced it. And I guess the accident, then the stress from the accident, which I was not hurt in the accident. Thank you, Jesus. I was not hurt. I had no blood injury. I was not injured, no broke bones, anything like that. But I did contract the myasthenia right after the accident, and I was lucky to have been alive. It was a head-on collision. But that's, as life hands you lemons, you need to make lemonade. And I love lemonade. So I'm going to check you at another time. I'm going to do the video of my home so you can see how I live, where I live, and how I've accommodated myself by having myasthenia and being, disabled. And I will talk more about my disease, about when I first contracted it. I'm sorry. First when I was diagnosed with it. And I'm going to holler at you later. Bye.